Hello. Hi, Kiliani, are you with us? Oh, that's Oda.
Yes.
Hi, Oda. Are you the one recording
What's
right
that?
now? The
No,
one recording
Kiliani's
right
here.
now. Okay. I heard the computer said recording was in progress. Are you already recording?
Yeah, that way for students who couldn't join, and then I'll make you a co-host right now.
Okay.
Okay, you should be good to go. Let me know if you need anything, but it's all yours.
Yeah, I'm looking for the PowerPoint for this in our drive.
Sophie.
Do you know where it is, Kiliani?
Let me check.
Uh, aha, I think I may have found it.
Okay.
Yes, I did. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to screen share. Let me get here and do slideshow. Okay. Okay. All right, you can see my screen. Everybody can see my screen, yes? All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Eklund in the Department of Psychology, and Dr. Oda is also here with us. And Kiliani, can you come on screen so everybody can meet you too?
Hello,
And
I'm the undergrad program coordinator. So when you guys have questions for enrollment, I got you.
So Kiliani is the person that, between Kiliana, Dr. Oda, and myself, we're the people that are going to help you get situated for your courses in field or research experience for the coming semester. So okay, so let's go ahead and get started. It's 7 o'clock. So as you all know, to graduate with your bachelor's degree, you need to complete an applied learning, integrative learning requirement for your general education. It's also required for the major. And so the classes that you're going to choose from are 455 and 475. 455 is our field experience class that BA and BS students can take. 475 is our research experience class that BS students are required to take. And so we're going to talk about both of those right now. Here is our advising sheet. You guys have all seen, I'm sure, many times. And you're required for the BA to take 455. For the BS, you're required to take 475. If for some reason you need to take an exemption to that, you'll need to fill out a petition to have that exempted. And what I would suggest is that you talk with Dr. Oda or myself about why you might feel like you need to take an exemption, okay, before you just fill out the petition. Also, just so you know, you can take each of these classes multiple times for elective units, right? So you have 120 units that you have to graduate. Your GE plus your major puts you at about 108 or something like that. So you have elective units that you can take. So if you take your field experience and you're really enjoying it, you can do it for another couple more semesters if you want. If you want to do both field and research experience, you can do both. You can take each for different semesters as well. Okay. So 475 is research experience. The way, I'll just talk about that really quickly. The way in which you go about getting into research experience is you have to go to our department website, go to the research page, all of the faculty profiles are there that kind of everybody's research interests are listed there, what they're doing in their research labs. You find a faculty member that you think your interests in research align with what they're doing in their lab, and you reach out via email or office hours, and you express interest in joining their lab as a research experience student. Each faculty has their own criteria for admitting you into their research lab. So you'll have to meet with each faculty member that you think you might want to work with individually. So some faculty won't take you into the research lab if you haven't had research methods. Other faculty will take you before you've had research methods. So, that's an individual interview basis. Once you have secured an agreement from a faculty member that they will accept you into your lab, then you can go ahead and start the process of applying, or not applying, registering for 475. And so, but until you have a faculty member that has said, yes, I will take you into my lab, don't reach out to Kalyani for a permission code. Okay, it has to be once you have the faculty member. When you reach out to Kalyani, she's going to ask you whose lab are you joining, and because we keep track of that. And so you need to have that professor's permission to join their lab. Once you have that, reach out to Kalyani, tell her whose lab you're going to be in. She'll issue you a permission code to register for 475. Okay, the research experience does require 135 hours worth of commitment time to researching in that lab. So that's essentially 8 to 9 hours a week across the semester. So you're going to carve out a good chunk of time to do that research. And so you need to plan your schedule so that you have built into your schedule between your other classes and your work schedules enough time to commit that 8 or 9 hours every week to your professor's research experience. Okay. Any questions about research experience before we keep going? I don't see everybody. Kalyani, are you keeping track of everybody? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't want to unmute and ask questions, you can also put questions in the chat, and Kalyani will read the questions from the chat. Okay, so moving on, 475, or I'm sorry, 455 is field experience. These are all slides. We did not get them updated. So for the fall, Kalyani, can you share when the fall 455s are scheduled for this coming fall semester?
Yeah, just give me a second. I'll look it up.
Okay. So, for 455, are we offering a summer one like we normally do as well? Okay. So 455 you can take also over the summer semester. The 455 in the summer is online asynchronous, which, to be perfectly honest, is more work than live and in person. But if you are considering going home for the summer and you're planning to go home after you graduate and start working in your home community, I actually do recommend you look for a field experience in your home community. To do a field experience in the Azusa community is great. You'll get job offers in Azusa, but if you're moving back to Oregon, that's not going to help you all that much, right? But if you're going back to Oregon for the summer and you can do a field experience in Oregon, that'll make those connections for you to help get you job offers for when you graduate. So I do recommend that if you are not local and you're going home for the summer, you think about doing one summer 455 near your home, especially if that's your plan, is to return to your home community after you graduate. Because one of the big things about field experience is you're making connections in your community. Okay. Did you find the times, Kalyani? Yep. Okay, go ahead and share them.
Yeah, so 455 will be offered on Wednesdays, 12:50 to 3:50, and then Tuesday, Thursdays, 2:35 to 4, as well as an online one through the professional program. And then for 475, it'll be Fridays with
475 doesn't meet that way. We just throw it there. So don't worry about it. 475 will meet with your professor at their lab meeting time. Okay, so Tuesday, Thursday at what time?
Tuesday, Thursday is 2:35 to 4.
2:35 to 4 o'clock. And this is fall. Okay, And we'll take the faculty names off since I don't know which sections are which people. Okay, so those are going to be your times that you can do the field experience for the fall. The field experience does require, again, a minimum of 135 hours worth of commitment. 100 of that hours have to be in your field experience. So you may find a field experience, which we're going to go through the rest of the slides and we'll talk about this more, but you may have a field experience where they say, we want you to commit to 2 semesters, 100 hours each semester. If you do that, that's your choice. You can do that. But whatever commitment you make to the agency where you're going to be doing your field experience, that is the commitment that we're going to hold you to. The university requires a minimum of 100 hours. But if you're doing a hospital-based experience, they may require 150 hours of a minimum commitment. So if you make a commitment within an agency that is more than 100 hours, that's the commitment that you're making. The 100 hours is required for APU, but whatever in addition the site requires, you also need to be able to do. Okay. How do you go about getting a field experience? Because if you don't have your field experience site secured and started within the first 2 weeks of the class starting, you'll be asked to drop the class. So first of all, go to the website. Most important thing, go to our website, psychology.apu.edu. Get into the field experience link there. In the field experience link, you will find a list of all of the field experience sites that we currently have relationships with. That is not an exhaustive list of where you can do your field experiences. You're gonna do a field experience by finding your own field experience. We don't place you. In social work, they place their students to their field experiences. In psychology, we don't do that. In psychology, we are actually mentoring you towards getting jobs out in the field. So you're gonna just like you would go look for a job on your own, you're gonna go look for a field experience on your own. It does not have to come off of that list. The website makes it very clear what the requirements that for each site are. If you find a place that will meet those requirements, we are happy to have you create a new community connection for yourself. Okay, so we'll talk about that. Okay, I already talked about when should you take it. So if you are going to be going to grad school, so when should you take 455? If you are headed into grad school, we highly recommend you take it in your junior year. If you are going to grad school and you're going into your senior year, don't worry about it. You'll be fine as well. But if you are headed to grad school and you're a junior, that's a good time to take it because those field experiences get added into your resume and your CV that will help make you more competitive for grad schools. And when you're applying to grad school, you're applying fall of your senior year. So if you can take it in your junior year, that's great. If not, take it fall of your senior year so you can get that added into your CV and resume that you're going to send off during that semester to your grad applications. Okay. If you are not going to grad school and you're planning to go join the workforce, we actually recommend you take it during your senior year because it is not uncommon that you may get job offers out of your field experience. But if you're a junior and you still have another year of undergraduate education, you're not going to be able to take any jobs that you get offered, right? And so if you know, I am not going to grad school, I have had enough education, I am so done with being in university settings, we recommend you take it during your senior year so that you can maybe build those relationships that can launch you into postgraduate jobs. Questions? There, Kiliana, can you read the chat to me? Take pause and answer questions.
Sure. We put in the chat the website information, and then they also asked if they could have access to these slides.
Oh, yes, the slides are also on the website.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find all of this on the website. Okay, so this is what is required for field experience. Again, this is all on the website. You need to do 100 hours out in the field. You need to be supervised 45 minutes to an hour each week. by your on-site mentor or supervisor. Your on-site mentor or supervisor needs to be mentoring you every week. That can be 15 minutes at the beginning of your week and 45 minutes at the end of your week. It can be 15 minutes each time you go in. It just needs to accumulate to an hour of mentorship every week. Okay. And so that is an important piece, that they're making that commitment to you. And then in addition to that, you're going to spend every week classroom time. So you'll spend about 2 to 3 hours every week in class with your faculty member, who will oversee as well what you're doing in the field. So the field mentor doesn't have to have any specific credential. They need to be qualified to mentor you in what you're doing. So they need to have basically have done what they're going to be asking you to do, and have done it long enough and well enough that they can be your mentor and guide you in learning how to do what you'll be doing. Okay. And then there's these other things you'll read about. We'll go over those in the class. You do need to start working on finding a site no later than 2 months before the semester begins. Now, if you're going to do it here in the Azusa area in the fall, and you don't live over the summer here, you need to start looking for your site now, because you'll be gone in 2 months for the summer. So if you live here in this area, you can wait until May, June, start finding your site. But if you do not live in the area, you're going to take it in the area in the fall, you need to start looking for your site now. Because again, if you do not have your site secured by the add drop date, we're going to ask you to drop the class. Okay. Most of the organizations where you're going to find yourself working will require live scan fingerprinting, which means that takes some time to get those back and cleared. They can come back within a week or two. When there's backlogs, they can take as much as a month or two. So again, you want to start the process no later than 2 months before classes start. Okay. Any other questions coming in on the chat, Kalyani, that I need to respond to?
Yes, there's a few. So I think you might have just answered this one though. Is it too late to secure a field site for summer semester?
No, start now, and you can secure a site for summer semester. And if you are going to be looking for a site that is not local, if you're going home, you're gonna, we have the internet. You can do your researching on the internet, and you're gonna reach out, just like we're going to talk about in a few minutes. You're just gonna have to reach out remotely. Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you. I think that's good. I think they're mostly caught up. And again, the slides will be on the website if you guys want to find them there.
Okay. So how do you select a field site? First and foremost, you need to think about what you want to do, either for grad school or for your career, right? What is your goal in your career path? And you want to try to find a field experience that will move you along that path, right? Field experience is a great way to confirm your career interests or disaffirm your career interests. So we have had students in the past who are like, yeah, I want to work with kids in the school system. So they get a field experience where they're working with kids in a school type system, and they halfway through the semester is like, I don't ever want to work with kids, and I definitely don't want to work in the school system. That's great. That is a very successful learning experience, because it just saved you $60,000 of graduate tuition to discover that you didn't want to do that, right? So, but it can also be one of those things where you're like, I think I want to work with kids in the school system. You get placed into a field site and you love it. And you're like, this is absolutely what I want to do. So either way, it's a successful experience, whether it affirms or disaffirms what you think you're interested in. So you need to start with, what is your career goal? What right now is your career goal? And let's find a site that will move you in that direction. Again, on the website, psych.apu.edu, is a list of the sites we have relationships with. You can use that as a springboard to start exploring what are some options. Do not limit yourself just to that list, okay? We have Google. You can Google agencies that might do what you're interested in doing, and look for places that look like they'll be a good experience. Any of the places on our internal website, still Google them. You want to look at what is it that agency does. You want to do your research, making sure you're finding an agency that you believe will help move you towards your career goals. Okay. If you do not know what you want to do for your career goals, connect with a professor, connect with me, connect with Dr. Oda, connect with Dr. Eck, and we can have conversations with you to help you brainstorm where you might want to go. Let me pause right there and talk about those of you that think you want to become a mental health therapist. You want to become a psychologist or a MFT or an LPC. You cannot do a field experience where you are, in therapy sessions with psychologists, right? That doesn't exist. And so what I'll encourage you to do is to look for opportunities to serve in roles at your level with the kind of people that you want to be a therapist for. So for instance, if you think you want to be a therapist that works with kids and youth, I'm going to encourage you to look at residential treatment facilities. Look at David and Margaret. Look at McKinley House. Look for youth after school centers where you would be interacting in a residential or a day counselor position. You're not going to be doing therapy. You're not going to be able to observe therapy, but you'll get to build relationships with the kinds of kids that you think you want to work with, right? If you think you want to be a therapist and you want to work with adults as a therapist, get a undergraduate internship experience at Charter Oak in Aurora, in West Covina Psych Hospital. Get an internship at a residential treatment facility for substance using adults. Get a field experience in adult daycare settings, for disabled adults. If you think you might want to work with geriatrics, get an internship in a memory center or a assisted living center. So, look for field experiences where you can interact with the population that you think you might want to do therapy with someday, because you won't have the opportunity to sit in on therapy as an undergrad, right? So if you think you might want to work with high distressed kids and families, get an internship at a homeless shelter. If you think you might want to work with distressed adults, get an internship at the adult homeless shelters like the Salvation Army. So you're going to look for opportunities where you can engage with the population that you think you want to serve as a therapist someday. Okay. Any questions about that?
There was a quick question in the chat that's more specific.
Okay.
It said, what if you live in Arizona and attending a PU? I think for trying to plan where to go.
Yeah, so if you are planning to move back to Arizona, or you're currently living in Arizona and you're in our professional program, you're gonna find your own internship there, and then we're gonna talk about what work needs to be done to get that set up. So that's fine. You can get your internship anywhere. You can even get your internship internationally, other states. Wherever you're going to be for the semester that you're doing the course, that's where you're going to get your field internship. Yeah. Okay. Most internships are unpaid. However, this happens quite frequently. Students may start the semester as an unpaid intern and then move into a paid part-time job. You do not have to be unpaid to get the class credit, right? If you have a job right now that meets the criteria on the website for a qualified field site experience, you can use your current job for your qualified field experience, right? So it doesn't matter if you're paid or unpaid. That is not a criteria. We do not require you to give up income in order to get your units. Okay. All right. So next steps, start doing your research, looking for sites that you would like to potentially do your internship at. Then what you're going to do is you're going to do like exactly what you would do if you were looking for a job. You're going to reach out to the agency through either their employment portal or through their email portals or through their phone portal. You're going to reach out to the agency. You're going to ask to talk to the volunteer coordinator or the human resources department. If they don't have a volunteer coordinator, get the human resources department. And you're going to introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Vanessa Valier. I'm a student at Azusa Pacific University. I'm finishing my degree in psychology, and I'm looking for an opportunity to do a field experience or practicum experience as an undergraduate student. And I was really interested in your agency. Is there any opportunities for me to volunteer in your organization as an undergraduate intern? Okay. It's really important that you mention that you're an undergraduate, because practicum and field experience are two words that are also used for graduate practicums. And we have graduate field experiences in our MSW program, and we have graduate practicum experiences in all of our grad programs, MFT, MS, and Masters in Counseling, Clinical Psychology. So all of those have practicum students, and social work has field experience students all at the graduate level. So it's important when you're reaching out to one of these agencies that you mention that you're an undergraduate student completing your degree. Otherwise, you may find yourself in an interview for a graduate practicum experience that you can't do. So make sure you're mindful to mention that you're an undergraduate student looking for an opportunity to do your field experience at their agency. Okay. Once you secure a site, so once you talk to that person, they will tell you what you need to do from there. So there'll be, some places will say, send us your resume and we'll get back to you. Others will say, go online, fill out our application. Others will say, let's schedule a meeting. So you just have to do whatever it is the agency is asking you to do to get considered for that field experience. Okay. Once you have secured the field experience, gone through all their hoops, decided that, yes, I want to do my field experience at this site, then what you need to do is to find out if we have an affiliation agreement with that site. If we have an affiliation agreement, and we need to change this slide to read Kiliani. Kiliani, can you get in here and change this to your information there?
Yeah, I'll hop in right now and adjust that. We also had one more question when you get ready for questions.
Okay. So once you have the site secured, you're going to go online, see if we have a current affiliation agreement. Again, it's in that list of field experience sites. The field experience site is a Google Sheets doc. So there's tabs for all sites, and then there's tabs for different regions. So you can go to any one of those tabs. So if you're in Temecula and your site is there, go to the Temecula tab. You don't have to go through all field sites. Go to the Temecula tab, look to see if that site's there. If it is there, there should be an expiration date for the affiliation agreement. If it's active, if it is not expiring during your time there, you do not need to do an affiliation agreement. If there is no date in that spreadsheet for your site, or if the site is not on the spreadsheet, you found your own placement outside of our Google Sheet, you need to submit a affiliation agreement to the site. That is all, again, on the website. The link is there for an affiliation agreement. You can download the affiliation agreement, email it to your site contact, and ask them to have that completed. And on that form, it'll say to have it returned to Kiliana Matson, right? So you will hand it off to them. They will then return it to Kiliana. So you will not see that completed affiliation agreement, but it is your responsibility to give it to the site. Okay. Okay. Then when the semester starts and you start at your site, your next responsibility is to get the learning agreement done. Okay. And that is something that you do and you turn in within the first 2 weeks. And we'll talk about that first week of the class. So don't worry about that. We won't talk, you don't need to worry about that right now. Right now, what we need to worry about is you finding your site, securing your site, and determining if an affiliation agreement is needed. Right? We do not need the COVID liability form anymore. Yeah. However, some of your sites may require you to have COVID vaccinations. If they require that and you've agreed to go there, then you need to do that. All right, let me pause and answer a question real quick.
So the first question was, sorry, there's quite a few. So is it possible to change internships during the course?
The ideal answer to that is no. We want you to make that commitment, because to secure the site, you've made a commitment to them. So even if the site is not, you get there, you start your experience and realize, okay, this is not what I want to do for my career. We really don't want you to change sites because you've made a commitment. Okay. With that said, there have been times where we've had students take on a secondary site. So there have been some situations where students weren't getting enough hours at a site. So then we have them take on a secondary site. So you may end up with 2 field experience sites to get your 100 hours. That happens periodically. Ideally, when you've made the commitment to them, they've made a commitment to you to give you those hours. But every once in a while, something comes up, the site's not coming through with the hours. We have to have you pick up a second site. And then, yes, there have also been, unfortunately, times where sites were unable to keep their commitment to our students, or there were ethical concerns with what was happening at sites where we do need to have you move mid-semester, but those are when things have gone very bad. So ideally, you make a commitment to the site makes a commitment to you, you stay in that site for the length of that semester. If you decide you want to do another semester and change sites, you can do a second semester of 455, change sites, try another experience. Okay. So once you secure the site, again, you're going to follow the agency's onboarding requirements. You're going to figure out who your mentor is going to be in the site. You're going to provide them with the link to the requirements so that they know what they're needing to do. And then if needed, you're going to get the affiliation agreement to them. And then after that, you're going to start classes. The first thing you're going to do is the learning agreement with your mentor. Another question that may come up that let me preemptively answer: can you start your field experience before the beginning of the semester? The answer is yes. If you find a place you're super excited about and you want to not enroll in field experience for the summer, but you want to start over the summer, you can start over the summer. However, your 100 hours can't start counting until the 2 to 4 weeks before the semester starts, right? And you can't stop your field experience when you hit 100 hours. You do need to be in that field experience for the entirety of the semester, okay, for fall and spring. So if you start your field experience in June, you're making a commitment until December, okay, because your class runs August to December, okay? Now, that is different for the summer course, okay? So because during the summer, there is going to be opportunities for you guys to work at summer camps. And summer camps don't run for 16 weeks of the summer, right? So if you get hired to a summer camp, you are required to have at least 1 month of field experience commitment. Okay, you had no less than 4 weeks during the summer. Is the requirement, but during the fall and spring, you are committing for the entirety of the semester. So in the fall, that's till December. In the spring, that's till May. Any questions?
No questions in the chat right now.
Okay, great. All right. Okay, so then once you start, you will need to this is stuff for at the beginning of the semester. So if you are doing the summer term, you're gonna want to remember summer term starts, I think, a week after spring term ends. You're gonna want to get into your Canvas and get started in there right away, and start your practicum as right at the beginning of summer. And there are there are assignments that need to be done early in the semester. Early in the semester, you got to start your time log right away. You got to get that learning agreement done in the first couple of weeks. You're going to have weekly journals that you're going to be doing, and you're going to have an exploratory lit review that's due in the first 4 to 6 weeks of the semester. So there are things that need to be done early in the semester. Again, if you're doing it in the fall, this is not something you need to worry about right now. Worry about finding your site, securing your site, and getting that affiliation agreement going. But these will be some of the things at the beginning of the semester you will need to worry about. And if you're doing a summer term, you want to jump on this stuff as soon as the Canvas site opens at the beginning of summer. All right, any questions?
There is a chat question that says, are mentors Azusa professors or someone at the internship site?
Yes, so your on-site mentor is somebody that works at your site. Your faculty mentor is the person you're going to be sitting in class with. But your on-site supervisor or mentor works there.
Thanks. And then there's one more question that was asking if they need to email, who they can email, whether a site will work for the course or not. And if you want to touch on the agreement, and then I can put my email in the chat for anyone that needs it.
Okay, so okay, so the first, remind me what the first question was. Sorry, I lost the first question.
No, you're good. I think they're a little confused on how to confirm if their site will work for the course or not.
Okay, so that is in the website. So let's just go to the website. Let me open up the website real quick. Shoot. I am not apparently logged in. Let me just go over here. Come on. Psychology.apu.edu. Here we go. Undergraduate. Field and research experience. Okay. You're going to click into field experience. But here's field site. Okay. And we are one of 2 universities that has LA County internship contracts. So this has a link to a bazillion internships at LA County. And then you can click here for the field site list, or click here for the full field site list. And then here it is by region, right? So I'm going to click there, and this is that spreadsheet. You'll see, I don't know if you guys are seeing that my computer's broken and I have lines at the bottom that make it difficult to see. Let me see if I can fix this. There we go. So you'll see down here, here are the tabs I talked about. Okay. And so that is where you can go start your search. Okay. Let me hold on, go back. Okay, go back one more. Okay, forms and documents. There's your affiliation agreement. That's the form that you'll send if we need to get an updated field affiliation agreement. Otherwise, here's your learning agreement, your time log that you'll be doing once the semester starts. So all the forms that you need are right there. Okay, and then the requirements. Okay, here is the field site agency responsibilities. You're going to send this to them, field site supervisor responsibilities. You're going to give them this link so they can come in and look at this. But basically, this mentor is somebody who needs to be able to mentor you in what they're going to be having you do, right? And then they're going to also do your supervision and your evaluation. Okay, this is what will qualify a program, a agency or a role, is these criteria. Okay, in general, pretty much anything that you do where you're working with human beings is likely going to meet criteria for the field site. Okay, I also want to mention that right now is the time that if you're interested in being part of the APU Cares program. APU Cares program, hopefully you've all had some exposure to that through your research participation in your freshman and sophomore classes. But APU Cares program is a on-campus internship opportunity. It is a full year commitment, 2-semester commitment. They're going to start interviews for those. They're going to select now in the month of March their interns for next year. But that is a mental health focus, advocacy, public communication, primary prevention kind of program for mental health on APU campus. So if you're interested in being an APU Cares intern, you should be looking for the APU Cares application information. So it should be on our department website. It should also be at the Counseling Center's website as well. So APU Cares is an on-campus opportunity for you guys. But if you're interested, you need to jump on that right now, because by the end of the month, they're going to be picking their interns. If you are interested in organizational psychology, that would be one situation where your internship site may be more organizational. Your service unit may be an organization rather than people. So those of you that are interested in organizational psychology, there are opportunities on APU's campus to do internships where you're doing more like program development and program implementation, which fits better with people who are going into an organizational psychology kind of career track. So except for those that have had for organizational psychology, if you are working with human beings in the field, you're likely, and the field site supervisor can provide this, and the site can provide that, you are likely going to have an internship that will meet criteria. But if you are not sure, you can reach out to myself or Dr. Oda, and either one of us can help you figure that out.
There's a few more questions, so I'll keep giving you more. The first one was someone asked if they could have a quick overview of the website for how to find all this information. Since you're already on there, would you mind showing them the layout for it?
Yeah. Okay, so let me go back through that. I'm going to go back to the beginning of here's our psychology.apu.edu. Okay, if you're not in it on a regular basis, you should be. But if you are in it on a regular basis and this looks different, it's because we've given it a facelift. But all the same information is in here. But the field experience is right here on the homepage, right here, field and research experience, right? And then if you're a BS student or you're interested in research experience, you'll just click there, and there's the requirements, okay? And the faculty, where is the faculty research sites on this? Let me go back. We'll come back to you on where the faculty research stuff is. Facelift is new to me too. But here's the field experience one. You click on that and it takes you to the video that you guys were wondering on the slide there. There's the video. And then here's the information, background information, catalog description, policies and procedures, all right there. Okay. Then you've got your learning goals and objectives, where it kind of talks about what you're going to learn and what you're expected to do. Field sites, this is that Google sheet worth of field sites, and these are the forms and docs that you need. So it's all right. So I'll go back. It's all right here. Let's go back to the main homepage. Here's our homepage, undergraduate resources, field and research experience.
Yeah, and then I think for faculty information, if you want to find a specific professor for 475, you go through undergrad and then to the faculty, and then you find where the research is through the website.
So it's not in this website anymore?
It is. It should be, I think on the main page, it has faculty staff. And then
going back. Okay. Oh, here we go. Faculty staff. Okay. So here we are. So for instance, we'll just go into Castaneda's, click on her current research. Here's Castaneda. Here's the project she's working on. There's a lot of them. She is very, very busy researcher. And then what she has students do, and then what you're required to do for her, and then how you can contact her. Yeah, so that's where you can find that. So that goes back to the faculty staff. And then here's the department homepage. So it's under undergraduate and then is where you'll find the field experience. Faculty staff is where you'll find the labs.
Awesome. And then our next question was, do the required hours differ for professional students with 8-week courses?
No, in fact, the field experience is your only course that runs 16 weeks in the professional program.
And I accidentally skipped one. There was, can you go over one more time what goes on in Psych 455 for the 2 to 3 hours every week with the professor?
Yes, that's a great question. I love talking about that because this is one of my favorite classes to teach. We are preparing you for, well, okay, one, the main thing is we're helping you apply psychology to what you're doing in the field, right? That's one of the key objectives for the class is for you to be able to process what you're doing in the field and see the psychology that you've learned in your classrooms come to life there. But we're also preparing you to get out of APU, to graduate. And so for those of you who are headed into the workforce, we're helping you and build the best resume and the best cover letters that you need to get a job to be really competitive out in the field. For those of you who are headed to grad school, we're helping you build the best resume or CV and personal statements to get you really competitive for grad school and that journey as well. So those are kind of the three main things that we're doing in there is we're applying psychology to your field experience, and then we're preparing you for your next steps. What happens in the classroom? You're gonna do your research paper because we use a practitioner scholar approach to the class, meaning it's a practitioner class. You're going out and doing practice, but we're pairing that with scholarships. So you're going to be doing a 4 to 6 page research paper, informing yourself, teaching yourself through your research what you need to know to be a practitioner scholar out in the field. So what you need to know to do what you're going to be doing at the best possible level. And so you're going to be presenting your scholar practitioner paper. Then you're going to be presenting case studies throughout the semester. And so we do a lot of talking. It's very much a didactic kind of class where we're doing a lot of talking about what you guys are doing out in the field and how we're seeing psychology come alive. And then halfway through the semester, we start working on that career prep. We have you doing your draft resumes, redraft of resumes, drafts of cover letters, redrafts of cover letters, or personal statements.
One more question we had was for the 100 hours by the end of the semester, does it matter how many hours you do each week? Or does it matter if you just get them done throughout the entire semester?
So you're going to make a commitment to your site. So most of your sites will say, okay, we're going to ask you to come in, 3 half days a week, or we're going to ask you to come in 2 full days a week, or we're going to ask you to come in 1 9-hour day a week. So that's between you and the site. But the site typically will ask you to make a commitment for a set number of hours a week, right? What we're going to be concerned about is that you have that 100 hours and that you fulfill your commitment to the site. So if the site's saying they want you there 2 days a week, you need to make that commitment to 2 days a week. You may finish your 100 hours by Halloween, but you're going to stay with that commitment till December.
And then there was one last question about summer classes being 16 weeks, and I put in the exact dates that we have for those.
Yeah. And again, even if you, with the summer class, even if you finish, let's say you're doing a summer camp and you're only going to be there for 4 weeks, you still have to be in the class for the whole 16 weeks.
And I think that's all the questions in the chat. Oh, there's one more that popped up. It says, what happens if we're interested in child life as an undergrad?
Oh gosh, thank you. That's a great question. Let's talk about hospital-based experiences really quickly. If you are interested in child life, you need to go find a hospital where you can volunteer in the child life department. Child life is a very competitive field, and most people are doing master's degrees in child life now. But volunteering in a children's hospital and a child life department is a really great experience. And it'll help you get into grad schools. And if you decide to try to get certified as an undergrad and get a job with your undergraduate degree as a child life specialist, You're going to need a practicum experience and an internship experience. And to get either one of those, you're going to need experience in the children's hospital. So you're going to find a local children's hospital, do their volunteer process. I recommend starting now. Some hospitals will require you to volunteer in other units before they'll let you volunteer into the children's units. So you may have to like spend the summer volunteering in the emergency department or in the oncology adult department before they will let you go into a children's unit if it's not in a children's hospital but has children's units. So start working on volunteering now. If any of you want to be a child life specialist, you should be volunteering whether or not you're in 455, because it is a very competitive field. But if you are interested in hospital-based field experiences, start now. Many of the hospitals will have undergraduate field experience opportunities, but they require a 145 or 150 hour commitment, and some will require a 2-semester commitment. It is a great opportunity if you want to go towards more medically based psychology careers. Volunteering in a hospital is a great experience. If you are volunteering in a hospital, you need to come and talk to me about the mentorship component, because hospitals, you will not have one person that you're working with every week. You will be working with a lot of different people every week. So we have to modify the supervision and the evaluation component for those of you who are volunteering in hospitals. So if you do end up volunteering in a hospital, I recommend you enroll in my section of field experience, so that, because I'm the one with the most experience of how we do those modifications. But if you can't get into mine, that's fine. Whoever else is teaching it, I can help them make that transition to how do we modify for hospital-based field experiences. So that is one thing you need to know. All of the stuff there under supervisor or mentor responsibility does not apply if you're doing a hospital-based field experience. Hospital-based volunteer experience is very different from what we've said.
There was a question for when fall classes start and will it be online? There will be an online one, and I'm currently looking at the catalog for undergrad fall 2023. I don't think it's published actually, so that will be pending, but it's usually in August, later August. And then we have
classes start at the end of August, I think August 28th this coming year.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are on the Azusa campus, but you want to take the asynchronous online one, you'll have to do a petition through Kiliani to take that class on the asynchronous online, but it can be done.
Yeah, so if you're undergrad wanting to take the professional course, which is the online option, just reach out to me through my email, which is in the chat, and I'll help get that process started for you. It's better to start earlier than later, because the processes just take a while to process. And then there's one more question. Can our field experience be related to something in education, even if it's not directly involved with psychology?
Why you're not paying attention?
So yes, that's a great question. So undergraduate psychology majors don't all go into psychology careers, right? So I have a student this semester who's headed to PT school. So he's doing his field experience in a PT unit, physical therapy unit. We have students who want to go into education and become teachers. We have them placed in schools, in teachers' classrooms. So whether you're doing PT or you're doing education, there's psychology there, right? That's why psychology is such a great undergraduate degree. Pretty much any career you're going to take, you're going to be using psychology. So, but we do want you to find a field experience that's going to take you to your career path. So if you're headed to education, let's get you a site that's education related. If you're headed to nursing school, let's get you a site that's nursing related. If you're headed to PT, let's get you one that's PT related. So we don't want you to do a psychology internship that is not related to your career trajectory. There's psychology in all of the careers that you're considering taking.
I believe all the chat questions are answered. If anyone else has any, you can just hop on and ask.
Okay, well, if you do not have any other questions, get on the department website, get started. when questions come up, feel free to email Kiliani or Dr. Oda or myself, and we will help direct you towards getting answers that you need to get set up for your field experience. Try not to get too nervous about this. It's actually an exciting time. It means you're getting ready to graduate. You're getting ready to go out and be in the professional world. So it's an exciting time. And if you've never had to do the cold calls for getting a job, this is an important experience. And so, you know, don't be nervous, be excited. And very few students have anything less than an excellent experience in their field experiences. So it'll be a good experience for you guys. So if you don't have questions, feel free to leave. And again, we'll put this recording on the website where the old one is right now, but you can also watch the old one as well.
Thank you all for joining us.
I look younger in the old one, so watch the old one.
The permission codes will be issued at the time of enrollment. Those codes are only good for 24 hours. And you'll get those once you contact me or your faculty and provide your site and either whose research group you're in, but those you'll get during time of enrollment.
If you have a question.
Able to get a job, like during the summer or something like that, think of it in that kind of process. I think Dr. Eklund puts it well, is that it may take a little bit of effort to find something, but our students have done it. So I think I would be less, I would say, let's try to reduce the anxiety a little bit, that a number of our students have been successful in finding placements. And so we're here to help you out, but it does require some effort on your part to find something. So
if you do not have a vehicle for transportation, that is one question that didn't come up that usually does come up.
Yeah.
If you are living on campus and you do not have a vehicle, we do have one site that is local, and then there are opportunities on campus.
right.
So looking for internships on campus, and then Neighborhood Homework House is right across over by Taco Bell. And so those are the ones that are close by. We actually have our student who's doing a PT is doing it at the local PT place that's really close to campus as well. So if you do not have a vehicle to get yourself to an internship, you know, reach out to me. I can point you in the direction of places that you can get an internship that doesn't require you to take a bus or ride your bike.
Jacqueline, did you have a question?
Yes, thank you. So the site, there's a site on the affiliation spreadsheet that I would be interested in, but it says it needs renewal. So how would I go about that?
That's a great question. So you're gonna send them the affiliation. What they've offered you the position, you just send them the affiliation agreement and say, you know, apparently our affiliation agreement has expired. Here's the new agreement. And whoa, what just happened? Oh my gosh, what just happened?
That's really weird. I've had a lot of computer issues today, I think with the rain and the connection to Wi-Fi things, but I do not know what's going on.
My computer just went black. I can hear you, but I can't see anything.
Oh, we
Is
can
anybody
still
else
see
having
your
that?
screen.
You can still see my screen.
Uh-huh.
Wow, my computer just went black. So okay. Well, my computer broke on Monday and I was hoping it would last till May, but maybe not.
Oh.
But yes, give them the affiliation agreement, and Kellyanne, make sure your name is on there now instead of Chloe's, but they'll send it to her.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. I guess we're done because I can't see anything.
Yeah, are there any last questions? And then we can close the meeting. It's close to 8 anyways. Are we good to go? Do you want to share anything, Dr. Oda? Thank you.
No,
all
just
you
thank
did.
you, Dr. Eklund, and thank you, Kaylee, for your help with this. And you know how to get a hold of us. So please feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Eklund.
Okay, take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.